My name is Carolyn. I'm currently the Indigenous Education Program Advisor for the Association of Independent Schools of South Australia. Part of my role involves providing professional learning to teachers and principals and school leaders regarding anything to do with Indigenous education, making sure that the Aboriginal Education Action Plan is incorporated throughout our schools, helping schools put together reconciliation plans, programs for students, and running some career pathways programs for students, encouraging them into tertiary study or future employment or taking up some sort of opportunity at the end of school. We've got a fairly well-established career pathways program which we work with students in schools to encourage them to undertake teaching, hopefully with a view that they would then come back and work in an independent school. We also have in place a mentoring program where the students, doesn't matter which school they've been to previously, can be mentored by some of the principals in our schools, and that can take the shape of having someone to just ring and chat to. It might be going in and doing some extra teaching prac in the school. It might be perhaps taking a position in the boarding house and supporting other Indigenous students at school. It may be just spending time in school, working out how the school works, getting to know everybody there. And again, the hope would be at the end of that they would be able to take up a position in an independent school. We're very keen to increase the number of Aboriginal teachers we have in the sector because at the moment we don't have a large number. And it seems to be making a little bit of progress, so we're positive and encouraged that it's making a difference. I suppose in one way, because our numbers are quite small, the individual schools really value the input that the Aboriginal people have working in schools, and we've got them in a variety of positions from teachers to, I think we've got some school bus drivers, we've got some ACEOs or whatever, they're called different things, LSOs called different things in different schools, but there's quite a variety of different staff, and schools really value the input. So they do try and support the Aboriginal staff as much as possible, encouraging them to do further study if they wish, or providing flexible working hours if that, because of family or whatever. Most of the staff that I work with through my role are really quite happy in the schools that they're in, and they have really good working relationships with the principals and the school councils and the parents. So, yeah, it's good. Well, we have had one program that's been going through, which is the SSO, one of the SSO courses at TAFE with a specific bent to disabilities. We've been funding quite a few of our current SSOs to do this study, which then gives them a better qualification and more chances for employment, and also better understanding than if they did want to go into teaching in that field. They've got a little bit more background in that area. So that's one of the things that we've done so far. I think individual schools, because being such an independent sector, each school operates as an individual component, provide different opportunities for their LSOs and staff. I know some of our more remote schools do provide quite a lot of professional development for the LSOs and the staff that work in their schools, particularly in ESL and in just general communication skills, personal skills, because they do spend a lot of time working with parents and community. Yeah, definitely. Because we have, in our sector, we have over 500 Aboriginal students enrolled at the moment, and that's across probably about 55 schools. It's really important that those students can actually come in contact with Aboriginal teachers rather than just completely being taught by non-Aboriginal people all the time. I think it's really important for the teachers to have a presence in the school, so that not just so they can better understand the students' needs, but they can also help develop the reconciliation amongst staff and help just create that general relationship that between community, which doesn't exist in some of our schools and makes it hard for the students constantly being in that environment. Particularly our schools, we do have a lot of schools that have borders from remote areas, and I think it's really great if they can have some Aboriginal staff working with them as well as everybody else. So I encourage them. I'd say it's a great thing to do, partly because it can be a really rewarding career. I mean, I've been involved in teaching for a long time, and it is really rewarding. It's a way for you to constantly be learning yourself, experiencing new things, and I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to go out and work and give back to community. I think in the future I'd like to see a lot more Aboriginal people employed in the independent sector. Our numbers of students are growing, but our numbers of employees is not, and I think it's a mismatch, so it needs to increase in that way. So a lot of the kids that are in our schools now I'd love to see coming back to work in our schools in a variety of roles in the future.